So let's start with a problem. All of us are bombarded with these messages and these attractive, design projects and companies, which don't really represent the reality of how much of the world the UX just hasn't touched or improved on. We kind of forget that majority of the world still runs on Excel, and those not so shiny projects, those boring ones, are usually the cases which you as a designer should be very excited to tackle, because they might be the best opportunity you're ever gonna have to develop your skills, but also to arrive at a killer case study. And what I'm talking about is these niches. You definitely know about it, you just maybe don't think because you might be too into tech. If you could Google something like enterprise software in engineering, software in medicine, software in, I don't know, boring technology or thermal energy, sensory data tracking in specific, I don't know what it could be, let's say logistics or something along those lines. You're gonna find thousands of examples of software and tools which are just horrific. It's only just like a one step up from using Excel with, countless of hours of calculations and macros inside. It's just an interface on an Excel. A tool like that could cost $2,000 per year for license. It could also cost $20,000 per seat, per license, per year if a tool is specialized. It's an opportunity to not just redesign it in the right way and create some sort of project and a case study documenting it along the way, but also disrupt that industry throughout and maybe become like the next multi-billion company in the end through a lot of iterations and a lot of hard work. But ultimately what I'm trying to say is that you're not going to see opportunities like that. You're not going to see examples like that of flashy mockups, which UI is better on LinkedIn, because they're just deemed as boring. They're deemed as boring by everyone, myself included. If I would go back a decade ago, I wasn't even looking for those tools because I was looking at what's recent, what's available, what's already successful. And this is a keyword. Because if you look at the things which are already successful, you're not really adding any new things to it. You're just stepping up on someone else's work and just slightly incrementally improving. Of course, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do. We need to do that, and someone is gonna do that. But the actual opportunities there are limited. Most of the world, again, runs on Excel. Most of the world is craving for someone to come in and disrupt and provide better tooling, better user experience or human experience. Whatever lens you're gonna look at this, be it service design or product design, or you're just gonna design UIs to improve the user life. Then you take a niche like that, a boring project, you're starting at a zero. It's nowhere near the successful business, let's say. It's nowhere near where the users or customers in that field are doing their best work. You're starting at absolutely zero. And if you do good UX, if you find that opportunity, it could be conceptual work again, maybe you're gonna find a job there. If you unlock your mind to look at also the boring stuff out there. On a flip side, if you would to join an existing company which is already doing well, maybe from 1 you went to 1.1 instead of from 0 getting to 1. That's a massive difference. You should look for referees if you want to become a better sailor. And as a hiring manager who has reviewed numerous of portfolios and had hired numerous specialists in research and design, I can tell you that only a fraction of people actually go for the boring stuff. Again, because it's deemed boring. So with this video, I also want to kind of reverse the things a bit. I want you to kind of have a thing that the industries need attention. And it's more maybe from a principle level that you should look out there, because one is going to help you to actually come up with better projects. Maybe you're going to expand your skill sets from the business to customer focus to business. Maybe you're going to start thinking about challenges from the service design perspective instead of just kind of diving and saying, oh, I'm just going to redesign this app or produce a mobile app for, restaurant bookings or to-do list or another Uber or something along those lines, which nobody else needed anymore unless you're going to make something super radical. And I can guarantee that a lot of hiring managers out there feel exactly the same way, because if they are working in what majority of the world is really complex challenges, because if you wouldn't have that complexity, you don't really need that hardcore UX skill set or someone to come in and lead the design there. So they are in those boring cases. Like the best candidates I've interviewed in the past had a range of different skill sets, but most of it was those boring things which nobody else wanted to do, because that's where the magic happens. Now I want to leave you with a few actionable bits from our design community, because when I posted just a screenshot saying, hey, there is just a massive opportunity out there, some people actually responded with some tips, and Patrick was one of them, where he said,
get out. Find places where people use the word Excel more than 2 times in a sentence, and you already found a 2022 problem to solve. Then reach out to people having this problem and do some research on it. Then grab a tool like Bubble and bring your user-focused solution to life. Don't forget to document it all for a case study. There are a lot of old-fashioned companies that still use software that needs an upgrade. You can find a lot of these outdated tools online.
But I would recommend you to also kind of pull yourself out of the digital realm, because if it's digital, chances are that there is a step already taken. Try to even find the industries or the challenging projects which nobody even talks about just yet, because it hasn't reached that maturity. Maybe you know someone, maybe it's a parent, cousin, or someone else within the vicinity. Maybe someone is fixing the roads next to you and you can talk to a manager out there what tools they're using. You can just bother them for 15 minutes. Maybe it's that, but it's really kind of thinking about all those different industries which are not yet mature enough and which you can contribute to. And the rest is up to you. And it's up to you to make something boring into something exciting, because trust me, the boring challenges are where it's at. That's where you get the most returns, because nobody else wants to do that. It's gonna be hard, but it's definitely worth it. So get after it.